In this video, we're going to be talking about what makes the difference from the people who make it in this business and the ones that just never get any traction. And that is knowing your numbers. And there's no guesswork here. I mean, all the reports and all the analytics are there for you to know what's going on. And once the campaign has finished, the next critical step is to review and understand the significance of your results. Knowing your numbers is essential for knowing what you need to do next to improve your results. As you commence the analytics portion of the campaign, it is important to have a starting point so you can tell how your results compare to industry statistics. In other words, knowing how you are doing compared to everybody else. It doesn't matter where you are when you start. I mean, you're 95% ahead of the game just by starting. But what matters is that you recognize where you are in relation to the industry and execute a plan which continually improves your results. And we're going to talk about how to do that. Here are some standard industry statistics to help you figure out the effectiveness of your campaign, in other words, where you are. And you can see that the process we're going to be using to get our results is the searches, to find our prospects. Those are the searches you do with the search tools. Then there's the campaigns when you design them to contact your prospects. Then there's the opportunity, which is where you present your offer, which is the product or service that you provide. And then the last thing is converting those into paying customers. So that's called monetization. Now, across the industry, the average landing page conversion is 2.5%. In other words, if you sent out 100 emails, you're going to get 2.5 people responding to those emails. Now, the top 25% of internet marketers are converting at like 5.31% or higher, but that's going to take you some time. And the big thing is that you're learning how to read your numbers and on what instructions those numbers are giving you in terms of what you have to pay attention to make things better. Now, the top 10% are getting landing page conversions of like 11.45% or higher. And there's some argument about that, but for our purposes, you can use that number. Now let's look at a hypothetical situation for revenue goals. Now, say you want to make $2,000 a month on an offer that nets you $65 per sale. Okay, so once again, you want to make $2,000 a month, and what you're selling gives you $65 profit for each one you sell. So that means that you need 31 sales a month at $61 a sale to make $2,000. So the question is, how many people do you have to contact each month to end up with 31 sales? So what we're going to do here to come to those numbers is we're going to plug in industry statistics. And you can see here that campaign conversion rate is 2.5%. So 31 sales is 2.5% of what number? And that number is 1,240 impressions per month. And if you break it down further, that's 310 impressions a week. And let me tell you, because I've tried to do it, there's no way you'll be able to do this manually. If you did it for a week, I'd be amazed. This is collecting all the information, the URL, the phone number, blah, 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 and contacting each one of these people. I mean, it's virtually impossible. LeadMate does all the pick and shovel work. So you can see here what they're doing is they're excavating for a swimming pool. Except when you're using LeadMate, if you had to dig a hole for a swimming pool and then you're going to dig a hole for another swimming pool, it's just as much work to dig the hole for the second one as it was to dig the hole for the first one, if I'm coming across properly. But with LeadMate, it does all the pick and shovel work, all the heavy lifting. And you can see that hitting your financial target involves two main issues, because you've got this tool that will do all the work for you, but you need to know what values to plug in. And number one, are you making enough impressions per month to hit your goal? So are you contacting enough people with your message? And then are you maximizing your conversion rate? So is your message effective? Because you're reaching them. You're going to know how many people opened the email and how many people didn't. So if you improve your conversion rate from 2.5% to 4%, it's only an increase of 1.5%. So you're going to increase your sales from the 31 sales you need per month to 50. So you're going to go from $2,000 a month to $3,250 a month with the same amount of work or less. We're going to get into that later. So the question is, how do you do that? How do you increase your conversion rate? Well, the first thing is you have your prospect, you have your lead, you have your opportunity, and you have your customer. So number one is knowing your customers, otherwise known as your niche. That's your market niche. That's who you're going after. So this is what you're going to do when you do your searches. So what you want to do is you really want to use your keywords, and you really want to get down to and focus on a very specific niche. And because you're doing that, for the same amount of emails you're sending out, you're going to get a lot more focus and a lot more results. So make your searches very specific to your market. Use the free analytical tools in software like Google AdWords. You know, you can sign up for a free trial and so forth. You don't even have to pay for it. And in Google AdWords and a lot of these other places, they have invested like $100,000 in developing these search tools, and you can use all these for free. Number two, clean your list. Make sure that all the recipients are relevant to what you are selling. So split test everything, split test your subject lines in your email, the content of your email, the call to action. So in other words, if you are getting conversions, so let's take the situation where a guy gets an email, he opens your email because the subject line looks attractive, but he does not click through to the landing page. So that you know the problem there is that the content of the email is not a call to action. It's not motivating him to find out more information. And of course, if they're not opening the email at all, you're going to need to test your subject lines in the email to figure out what's going on. Number three, the landing page video and content. Make sure all the links are working. Make sure Exit Pop and the payment gateway is working. A payment gateway is your solution to collecting the money. So it could be PayPal, it could be, there's tons of them. I think eBay has their own. Then make sure that your Exit Pop is set up properly, because that will capture 5 to 10% of the people who did not convert on your landing page. I mean, this is a technique that is extremely important. Number four, make sure customer gets a receipt for his purchase and is added to your buyers list. This is critical. So you want them to know via email that, yeah, they have purchased this thing and they're going to be getting it. And secondly, what will happen is you have their email and it needs to go on your list, and that becomes your buyers list. So what happens is it's going to be a lot easier to sell something else to somebody who has already bought off you. And then what you need to do is you need to review the campaign statistics to see the conversion rate and where you need to do better. Okay, and this is, you're missing the whole point if you don't do this. You need to analyze the number. The next one is number 5, constant contact with your list. And you should be emailing your list at least 3 times a week. And in those emails, what you want to do is you want to send them content-rich information and tips and things that they can use to improve their business. And what will happen is you're going to send them so much great stuff for free that they're going to actually feel guilty for not buying anything from you. And what will happen is when you send an offer, because every so often you're going to send them something that they can buy off you, they will buy it just to acknowledge the fact that they appreciate what you did for them before. Number 6, added value, free offers, newsletter, content-rich information. All of this goes to build a relationship with your list, and that's what you're going to need because the money is in your list. Number 7, first-class support and no-hassle refunds where applicable. If they're not happy, give them their money back. No hassles, no questions, just do it. And if you're doing something with your affiliates, and we'll get into that in affiliate marketing later on, and there's a screw-up because one of your links wasn't working, you've got to pay those guys. Then number 8, rinse and repeat. So you're going to go through all of this, you're going to analyze it, you're going to improve it, and then you're going to repeat it. Repetition is the secret to mastery. Now, if you use these 8 techniques that we just went through, you will be amazed at how small improvements in each of these areas has a drastic impact on your bottom line. And one thing that I want to leave you with on this video is, as you get more experience, you're going to be more creative, you're going to be smarter in how you do this. And remember, we see things as we are, not as they are. So when you make improvements and then you see the results are increased, make sure that those results are increased for the reason you thought they were. Because sometimes it's not like that. So you go and you do the same thing in the next campaign, but you don't get the results. Your conversion rate is down and you're doing the same thing. But if you go back and you analyze it, you will see the real reason it's successful. I hope that makes sense. All right, so I would say good luck, but it has nothing to do with luck. You practice this process and you're going to be successful in this business.